do have a choice. We can emerge from this crisis with a renewed sense of solidarity and justice and a vigorous democracy in which power has returned to the people. We are here today to say that we are not economic units whose only function is to behave ourselves and pay off the gambling debts of our masters. We are not children who must take our medicine or be sent to bed without our supper. We are not subjects. We are citizens. And we want our republic back.
I told you that giving that blanket guarantee to the banks was handing over the deeds of the country to the banks. And now we know the truth of it.
Were I to accept your advice on that day in September 2008 and not have put that guarantee in place, that the banks would have closed in a matter of days and we would have economic implosion in this country.
The engagement conference, that's what's wrong. Begins later this week. Let's look at the facts and let's make our decisions based on facts. Thank you very much.
But Mr. Lenihan left Brussels with the international media baying for answers. With the Belgian presidency said the request for help should still come from Dublin.
The statements made by ministers over the course of last weekend and since then have been firmly based on the fact that we were not involved in negotiations and we're still not involved in negotiations.
Here we are not putting pressure on Ireland to resort to the financial assistance mechanism, but I reiterate that the European Union mechanism is available and ready to be used if requested.
The Taoiseach has come under sustained criticism in the Dáil from opposition leaders who claim the government has misled the people over the question of negotiations with the EU and the IMF.
Why the large technical teams are sitting down discussing these matters. Market conditions have not allowed us to go ahead without seeking the support of our international collaborators.
Called in because the patient is sick, it is sick, it is sick, it is sick. And we have some medicine, which is the liquidity and the funds that we can provide. But we also have to suggest some, whether it's dieting, if you've got a heart problem, some other measures that may sometimes be difficult.
If the government has been reticent in making public comment, it has been in the interest of protecting the taxpayer.
I'm not talking to this. My responsibility is to ensure that we get the best possible outcome for the country while dealing with a problem which is not limited to our jurisdiction, but throughout the euro area itself.
As officials from the IMF and the EU finalise the rescue package for the country, the government's 4-year plan sets out measures to take €15 billion out of the economy and reduce our budget deficit by 2014.
It is a rational and sensible plan. It will bring us out of the steep downturn that we are already climbing out of, but it will ensure that as we climb out of it, we do so on a sustainable basis for the future. A future which, as the Taoiseach said, will ensure that the next generations can enjoy the standard of living that we have had the privilege of enjoying in recent times. The basic fact here is that if we do not do a correction of €6 billion in this year's budget, we have no credible way of borrowing money to pay for our social welfare, to pay for our public salaries, and to pay for our education system and our health system. This document has to be the basis of any sensible proposals in the next general election.
We know that we are in current difficulties because of past mistakes, leading to an unsustainable property bubble, further inflated by reckless banking practices.
alternative. If what we think and feel doesn't matter, then let's stop pretending that we are a democracy. Who is going to stand here in front of the GPO in 2016 and tell us that we are the republic that was created on that day? Are they going to tell us that when all we've got to show for it is a loss of our sovereignty, mass unemployment, mass emigration, and a huge increase in poverty and inequality? Because that is what we are being